This is Internet Marketing. Brought to you by SiteVisibility at sitevisibility.co.uk. This is Internet Marketing. Now, before we start today, we'd like to encourage anyone looking for help with their digital marketing to get in touch with SiteVisibility. Whether you have a burning digital marketing question or you're looking for an agency to work with, they'd love to hear from you. Give them a call, +44 1273 733 433, or you can fill out the form at sitevisibility.co.uk/contact. Alternatively, you can talk to either Scott or Sean via the live chat function on the site. They'd be happy to help. Now, today I'm joined by Brian Greenberg. He's founded businesses in e-commerce, marketing, financial services. He generated over 50 million in revenue from his business, collected over 10,000 reviews and testimonials from customers, has been named one of the most creative people in financial services, and has been called the salesman who doesn't sell. And as a multifaceted entrepreneur, he believes in building integrity into everything he does, operating a business for the long term with a strong reputation and a commitment to exceptional customer service. Brian, I think that's one of the longest intros I've ever read out. Tell us a bit more about yourself and what you've been doing.
Thanks, Andy. Andy, I've actually been in the internet marketing kind of business since 2002. So I've kind of seen, the whole, how it all kind of played out with Google and Yahoo and everything. In the past, I've owned an internet marketing company. And over the last 5 years, I've kind of spiraled out of that and went into my own businesses. Right now, I own primarily an insurance marketing business. It's one of the most competitive niches on the internet. It's very profitable, and I'm using all my skills to compete against some really big players in that market. And I've recently wrote a book, and I'm going to be discussing, how I leverage reviews and build an online reputation to stand out among all these kind of real big players that I'm going up against.
Fantastic. And that book is The Salesman Who Doesn't Sell. We'll talk a little bit more about that. We'll save that one to the end, actually. But I want to talk today about reviews, so people that are reviewing our services. And I know that a lot of people have a bit of a problem, or they find it a bit difficult to sort of ask for reviews. I'm not quite sure what methods to use.
Yeah, I think there's a block for most people that have businesses. They feel uncomfortable asking reviews. And if they even get reviews, they think of it some sort of type of showing off or bragging. Now, I think one way we've gotten around that is that at the end of any sort of process, anything, any service or product you're selling, you simply ask a question: are you happy? Are you satisfied?
Yeah. It's
very important to ask that question. And only after they say, yes, I'm very happy, I'm fully satisfied, that is the time to ask for a review. Now, you don't want to make it difficult on them. As soon as they say, yes, I'm happy, say, wonderful, will you give me a review? Get the commitment from them. And then from there, send them an email. It's very important to get them by email, because from email, they can give you that digital review.
Mm. Now, what about when you get a review? How do you sort of put a value on it? How can you sort of tell if it's a review worth using? It sounds a bit of an obvious question, but sometimes it can be quite subtle, can't it?
It can. One of the things that we do that I recommend everybody do is when you first ask for a review, have it be on a platform that you control. All right. You don't want to send somebody out to a third-party review platform like Yelp or Google or Facebook or any of these places first. So what we do is we send them first to our internal review system. We send an email. We use ActiveCampaign. ActiveCampaign, we have there's stars on. As soon as they click on the star, they go to my website and they enter in a review. After they put in the review and it's 5 stars, only then do I send them a follow-up email saying, hey, wonderful, can you leave the same review on the third-party website? Yeah. Now, Andy, you said, how do I value it? I value a review on my own website at about $100. And every year it's about $25 because those reviews stick. Now, a review on a third-party website like Yelp or Google or the Better Business Bureau or wherever you're going after, I value those at about $250 a piece.
Right.
And about $50 each additional year because they stick around. Now, knowing that, it's very simple to start bonusing your employees when they get reviews and tie it into, one of the main goals of your company.
Now that's interesting. So why do you feel that third-party reviews are worth more?
I think that when people see the reviews on your own website, they know that, you could not display the bad ones, which is true. All right, Andy, if I get a 1-star review, I'm not going to display it. I'll address it. It's a great, way for me to head off unhappy customers before they go on third-party websites.
Yeah.
The thing about a third-party website is you can't get them to take it down. So if they start complaining on a third-party website, let's say Google, for instance, there's no recourse. A lot of people says, well, I'm going to call Google. All right. Or I'm going to contact an attorney or a lawyer. It's a dead end. All right. These are opinions. And if you start fighting reviews, you're inevitably going to lose. You're going to lose a lot of time, money, and it's going to look terrible on these websites, and it's going to hurt your business.
So once you've managed to sort of get some of these reviews either on your own website or on a third-party website, what's the best way of sort of leveraging them? How do you sort of reap the benefits from them?
Great question. Now, first of all, you kind of benefit what's called barnacle SEO. Barnacle SEO kind of meaning that you're attaching yourself to a larger entity that brings in resources.
Yes.
So if you get reviews on Yelp or Google Business, anyone that searches locally is going to see you, and the more reviews you have, it could actually drive a lot of businesses. Restaurants, have done studies where, a few 5-star reviews can increase business 10%. The second way to leverage it is to put these very visible on your website. Make a big image, a big seal that goes right to these third-party review websites, and it builds trust and increases the conversion rates. Now, Andy, what we've done user testing studies on our own website, and we found that the last thing somebody will do before making a purchase or moving forward is they'll do an internet search, and they'll do an internet search on your company's name followed by reviews or complaints. Now, when they do that, at least for my company, they're going to see all these Better Business Bureau and Google Business reviews, and they're going to find all these great things, and that's the tipping point. That's what puts them over, and that's exactly when they actually choose my company. If they go to my competitors' websites and they do the same thing, they're going to find terrible reviews, and which is good for me. They're going to see my good reviews, and that's how I compete.
Now, I'm just trying to imagine all of our listeners here, and I think I know one burning question that they've got going on in their head at the moment, because you mentioned about complaints then. What do you do? What's the best way to handle a negative review?
Great question. People that aren't familiar with building up hundreds of reviews, their instant reaction to a negative review is to react in a defensive manner, right?
Yeah.
Hey, it's not true. I did everything for you. You have no right to saying such a thing. This is the absolute wrong thing to do. You do not want this conversation going on a third-party website. The way to win is to get them to remove the review. All right. Yeah. And to do that, you actually have to play the victim a little bit. Now, the first thing you do when you get a negative review is, whether you're right or wrong, be willing to take a loss. In my company, I'm willing to take up to a $500 loss. Right off the bat, my employees don't even have to talk to me in order to make a customer happy. One of the reasons, Andy, is we discussed, the value of a positive review. The cost of a negative review could be tens of thousands of dollars. I've seen companies have to close their businesses, have to restart with new names, hire reputation companies that just charge an exorbitant amount of money that really can't do anything. They can't remove the reviews. So fix the problem right away, give them a refund, and then ask them to remove it. All right, that's the best thing. And knock on wood, I've been very successful in that. Yeah. If by chance you got a customer that just will not remove the review, do everything you can to respond to it on that third-party websites. Apologize, let people know that you refunded that customer, that you since fixed that problem, and it won't happen again. Now, usually when people are looking at the reviews on a company, they'll look at the 1-star reviews first. Now, they do that for a very specific reason, to see how the company responded. If the company doesn't respond, they're not going to think they have resources, resources to address the concern, and that the company isn't really accountable. So as long as they see that the company responded and fixed something, that's what they want to see. So that's kind of how people say that you can turn a negative review into a positive.
Yeah, yeah. Now I want to change gears slightly now, because I'm quite interested in how you got started. I do want to talk about the book, but I'm going to save that till the end. How did you get started in this?
About 15 years ago, I started as an insurance salesman. It's one of the first jobs I had out of the university. They taught us when we're selling life insurance that it always has to be sold, right? Nobody really goes out looking for life insurance. You have to convince somebody and scare them and all these things. And I never liked it, right? It was nobody really wants to be a pushy salesperson or selling a product that nobody is really searching for. But what I did find, Andy, is that certain people actually do look to buy insurance. There's certain trigger points. I had a couple customers that someone in their close family passed away, and I talked to them, a year before, and boom, they just contact me and they're ready to buy. And it was the easiest sale I had.
Yeah.
So I decided, look, I'm going to try to find those people. And the best way for me to do that was to take that insurance business online. So I served the entire United States. I show up in Google search, and when people are looking for life insurance, they find my website. So I get the chance to sell in a very transparent and honest and ethical way. I get to be the guy in the insurance industry that wears the white hat. It's a real profitable business. It's a way for me to leverage my skills. And, it's a long-term game, too. The more honest and ethical and transparent, the better online reputation you build, the better long-term success you're going to have. Like if I stop doing any sort of marketing, I'll continue to have a successful business for a few years just from the work that I've already put in.
So if you had one or two top takeaways for our audience today, Brian, on the subject of reviews and getting reviews and using reviews, what do you think the 2 or 3 main things they should be thinking about?
First of all, know when to ask for a review. Make sure that you tie into your business that you ask customers if they are happy. All right. And that's the time to ask for reviews. Please, put it's hard to measure the effect of a review. So please put a monetary value on it, So then, look, I bonus my employees for the reviews they get, and it served me very well. The second is leverage those reviews. When you get the reviews, put it all over your website. Put it on every page of your website, especially the checkout pages. And don't underestimate the power of the reviews. Companies like Amazon have, kind of built this incredible search engine almost for people that go on looking for reviews. The same with TripAdvisor and Yelp. People are swayed by these reviews. Yeah. In the past, you might have a friend that says, hey, try out this, this Asian restaurant. And you say, oh, great. But then you go on to Yelp and you look it up and you see 10 negative reviews saying, oh, it's terrible. I got sick. Well, who are you going to believe? Yeah. And overwhelmingly, people are believing online reviews. So they are extremely powerful. So I encourage everybody to get started with that. Start building your online reputation because it serves you for a very long time for your business.
I really like the way that you put monetary values on these reviews, Brian. How did you work those out?
As far as conversion rates, right? So, I know the more reviews I get, the higher the conversion rate I get. And, look, we use Hotjar on our website, so we see how many people are actually going to those review sites when we put them on our website. And we actually can measure the increase in conversion rate. And the increase in conversion rate isn't just a one time, it builds up over the year, over the next year, and the next year after that.
Yeah.
So it's looking at it that way, it's not too hard to put in a monetary value.
Well, Brian, thanks so much for coming on the show. Tell us how we can find out more about you, and also tell us a little about the book.
Well, the book is called The Salesman Who Doesn't Sell, because I kind of do a very low-pressure informational type of selling, and a marketing guide to selling while you sleep. And I'd like to offer all your listeners a free audio version of the book. They can get that on my website, brianjgreenberg.com/IM.
That's very
kind.
And
that's just for your listeners, Andy.
Thank you very much. That's fantastic.
They could also see my insurance website at truebluelifeinsurance.com. And I just hope to give value to people. I didn't necessarily write the book to make money on sales. I actually wanted to give away as much useful information I possibly could to other entrepreneurs.
Fantastic. And just to clarify those spellings, so your website is Brian J. That's just the letter J, isn't it? So brianjgreenberg.com.
That's correct. My middle name is Jay.
Yeah, and then you've got a LinkedIn profile, haven't you? Is that Brian J-A-Y Greenberg spelled out?
It is. Yeah, on my LinkedIn, I spelled out my middle name.
Yeah, fantastic. Well, thanks very much for coming on, Brian. Thanks for our listeners. The show notes are in the usual place, sitevisibility.com/IM podcast. If you're enjoying the show, please leave us a review. That would be great. Any suggestions or questions to podcast@sitevisibility.co.uk. You can tweet at SiteVisibility. We have a SiteVisibility group on LinkedIn. That's all from me, Andy, and it's all from Brian.
Thank you for having me, Andy.
Thank you, Brian, and we'll see you next time on Internet Marketing.